You know, I got a prediction. I ain't telling nobody. I got a feeling when it's going to go down. But it's going to go down this year.
It's going to happen. All right.
Yeah, he can get a shot.
And that's all you can ask for as a player. All you can ask for is the opportunity, right?
Tell me this, because this was all over the media, because I know y'all keep it a buck. That's why I love y'all to life.
Yes.
They made a big deal out of Philly called us on draft day.
Okay.
They didn't mention that. I just let a cat out of the bag.
I didn't know that. Yeah, okay.
The NFL runs on secrets. Draft boards locked behind vault doors. Whispered promises to teenage stars before they ever hear a snap count. Phone calls that never make the ticker. But sometimes a secret slips out. Sometimes a truth gets too hot to hold. And when Deion Sanders spoke up, the football world froze. Because this was bigger than a game plan. This was Shedeur Sanders, his future, the way teams tried to play him before he ever took an NFL snap, and how one choice might reset the whole arc of his career. Draft day, bright lights, loud takes, a nation glued to the screen, every fan asking the same question: where does Shedeur land? The son of Coach Prime, a quarterback who ripped through college football with precision and swagger. Some swore first round, some swore a slide, but off camera the phones kept buzzing, and two names cut through the noise: the Baltimore Ravens, the Philadelphia Eagles. Before we go further, lock in with me. We are about to unpack a real one. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if you love Shedeur, then comment SS 100%.
Cam Newton can be absolutely right that Baltimore is the better situation. Yet none of us can look at Shedeur Sanders and find extreme fault with his position. Lamar Jackson, let's not talk about him like he's a quarterback and stop there. He's a superstar. Two-time league MVP.
These are not small shops looking for a lottery ticket. These are two of the biggest brands in the sport. Lamar Jackson rules Baltimore. Jalen Hurts runs Philly. Both in their athletic prime, both locked to mega money, both tied to the city and the locker room. On paper, it makes no sense. Why would they call a young quarterback with star energy? Why would they point at Shedeur at all? The real answer sits in the shadows where fans rarely look.
I played for Baltimore, so me and Ozzie are cool. So we understood that whole conversation, and he wanted to talk to Shedeur as well as he wanted to talk to me. And I put Shedeur on the phone, and Shedeur, I don't want to say how it went, but how in the world can somebody fault him for saying or thinking, why in the world would I go back up Lamar for 10 more years?
For sure.
I've never sat on the bench and said, well, I learned a lot today.
Deion Sanders went on new heights with Jason and Travis Kelce and dropped it straight. Philly called, Baltimore called, and Shedeur was not feeling it. Baltimore least of all. Deion said it with no spin and no pause. How in the world can somebody fault him for saying or thinking, why in the world would I go back up Lamar for 10 more years? Those are Prime's words, raw and clear. To Shedeur, the thought of living behind Lamar was not a chance. It was a cage. Look at the facts on the Ravens. Lamar signed a 5-year, $260 million contract, locked through 2027. He is the face of a city. He is the heartbeat of that locker room. He is not moving. So if the Ravens draft Shedeur, they are not handing him the keys. They are locking him in a garage, parked for years, waiting on a door that never opens. And when a contract dance shows up, they turn him into leverage. That is how the league plays. Young talent is a chip at the table. Shedeur saw it all coming. Philly is the same playbook. Jalen Hurts just inked 5 years for $255 million. Locked through 2028. The Eagles were not calling to crown a new king. They were calling to seat a prince in the balcony. Watch, wait, stall, then use his name in the next round of money talks. Maybe to twist a cheaper number for Hurts. Maybe to toss shade at Lamar and Baltimore. Either way, Shedeur was not buying. And that is when Deion stepped across the line. People forget who Deion is. He is not only a father, he is a Hall of Famer. He is a former Baltimore Raven. He has seen the front office machine up close. He knows the chessboard behind the broadcast. If he says Baltimore called, he means it. If he says SHEDUR passed, he means that too. That is not rumor. That is the kind of thing general managers like to bury. Prime does not bury truth. He flips the table. He has never flinched at calling out the old guard. And when the topic is his son, he only gets louder. So think about what this choice says. SHEDUR did not just say no to backing up Lamar Jackson. He said no to the idea that a young quarterback must sit and wait for years. He said no to wasting prime reps on the sideline, clipboard in hand, helmet in hand, pride in his pocket. The new wave of quarterbacks is built different. They don't live on maybe later. They don't dream from the bench. They want the field. They want the ball. They want it right now. Deion doubled down with words that felt like a clock striking midnight. Be patient and be ready. You gotta be ready when it's time, but when it's time, you're gonna know, and it's coming up. That is not a Hallmark card. That is a forecast. That is Prime telling the world that the Browns can run their rotation with Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel all they want. They can play the long game if they want. SHEDUR's time is near, and when it hits, the league better keep its eyes open. Now here comes the heat. The media love a take about patience. They say a quarterback should sit behind a vet, learn the ropes, pay dues. They call it growth. They call SHEDUR arrogant for wanting snaps now. Deion broke that myth in one breath. When haven't the pros ever developed anybody? It don't happen very often. By the time you get to the NFL, they expect you to know what you need to do. That is the hard truth. The NFL is not a classroom. It is a swim test in the deep end. You get the whistle and you jump. You swim or you sink. If they draft you, they expect production. Nobody is teaching you the basics. Nobody is holding your hand. You show it or you sit. You thrive or you get replaced. So why should SHEDUR burn his best years in a ball cap? Why waste live snaps? Why mute his development in the name of optics? That is the point Prime drove home. SHEDUR is not asking for favors. He is asking for a fair shot. The only way to grow is to play. If you're not in the arena, you're not getting better. Film is nice. Practice is clean. But the fire lives on Sunday. Now we have to talk about Cleveland. This is where the story turns. SHEDUR lands with the Browns. 5th round, set behind Joe Flacco, who's 40 years old. Set next to Dillon Gabriel, who doesn't have SHEDUR's college pedigree. Some people call that perfect. They say sit and learn. They say wait and cook. Deion sees something else. He sees politics. He sees a setup. He sees another plan to bury a young quarterback before he can plant his flag. And by saying it on New Heights, he put the Browns on the clock. Don't misread this as a dad rant. This was a message, a warning shot with a name on it. Stop hiding Deion Sanders. Stop using him as a number in a spreadsheet. Stop turning him into a pawn in contract games. He is not here to decorate a sideline. He is here to take over. And if Cleveland won't open the door, someone else will. Fans feel it already. Every time SHEDUR steps on a field, the air changes. Even in practice, the buzz gets louder. Every smooth drop, every layered throw, every calm read under pressure. The noise rises. The Browns can't keep him in a box forever. They can't pretend the city doesn't see it. Cleveland is thirsty for a star. The NFL is thirsty for its next face. Deion is making sure the message hits every corner. SHEDUR is ready. So where does this go from here? Does Joe Flacco ride the job all season? Does Dillon Gabriel jump the line on potential and politics? Or does SHEDUR kick the door and claim the room? No one can map that timeline, but one fact is solid. By dragging the draft day calls into the light, by saying Baltimore called and Philly called, by saying SHEDUR said no, Deion flipped the script. This is no longer a debate about if he belongs. It's a countdown. How long can teams hold the river before the wall cracks? Because it will crack. That is what Deion meant when he said, "It's coming up." That is what Shedeur feels every time he laces his cleats. That is what fans see in every spiral that rips the air. The shot is coming, the window is opening, and when it opens, Shedeur Sanders will not walk through it. He will sprint through it. Not as a backup story, not as a bargaining chip, but as the quarterback who refused to wait in line. Remember the backdrop that started this all. Secrets, hidden calls, backroom plans. That is the old way. Shedeur and Prime are not playing that game. They called the play out loud on a massive platform. They handed the fans the headset. They said, "Listen to what they do. Watch what they try. Then watch us flip it." And it tracks with the history lesson. The league rarely grows a quarterback from scratch. It drafts for now. It pays for now. It wins with now. So the logic is simple. If now is the standard, then give him now. Stop asking a live arm to cool on the bench. Stop asking a field general to salute from the sideline. Let the player play. This is why the fits in Baltimore and Philly never made sense beyond boardroom math. Lamar is the heartbeat in Baltimore. Hurts is the soul in Philly. Both are paid. Both are entrenched. In those houses, a new quarterback is not a plan. He's a pressure point. He's a lever in the next negotiation. That is business. Shedeur is not a lever. He is a leader. Back to Cleveland and the clock on that wall. Every rep Shedeur gets, the gap closes. Every week, the room must answer a louder question. Are you building a team or protecting a depth chart? Are you chasing wins or saving face? Fans don't chant for depth charts. They chant for hope. They chant for future. They chant for quarterbacks who swing a city. The league hears it. Front offices hear it. Players hear it. You can feel the shift in how people talk about the Browns. You can hear the subtext in every press answer. Everyone is trying to control tempo, but pressure changes tempo. Talent changes tempo. And Deion's words turned pressure into a clock that ticks in public. We circle back to the promise Deion made. Be patient and be ready. The patience is not a stall. It is a coil. The readiness is not a slogan. It is work in the dark. Tape at night. Throws at dawn. Footwork till the legs shake. Then one Sunday that prep meets opportunity, and the rest of the league learns a lesson about saying no to the wrong invitation. Because the day Shedeur said no was a line in the sand. No to Baltimore as a number 2 with no path. No to Philly as a placeholder with no plan. No to sitting for optics. No to waiting for politics. Yes to belief. Yes to destiny. That is the story that will chase every snap he takes. This chapter is not the end. It is the hinge. The Browns think they control the timeline. The Ravens think they dodged a storm. The Eagles think it was only a phone call. Prime put names on record and moved the frame. Shedeur Sanders is not in this league to warm a seat. He is in this league to change the equation. Watch the next preseason drive. Listen to the way teammates talk when the cameras are off. Feel the swell in a stadium that wants a spark. The moment is not a mystery. It is a math problem. Pressure plus preparation plus a crack in the depth chart. Then boom, a city meets its quarterback. When that moment lands, the NFL will remember who turned down the easy path. It will remember the player who refused a padded prison behind Lamar. It will remember the target who refused to be a tool in Philly. It will remember the young man who would not trade his prime for comfort. It will remember the family that told the truth in the daylight. And when the smoke clears, one line will echo through highlight cuts and talk shows and timelines. He did not hide, he did not flinch, he did not fold. When his moment comes, the whole league will remember the day he said no. No to Baltimore, no to Philly, no to sitting, no to waiting, and yes to destiny.
Thanks for staying informed with us. If you found this update helpful, give it a thumbs up, drop your thoughts in the comments, share the video with others who should know, and hit that subscribe button with the bell so you're always first to hear the latest breaking stories.